Good evening and welcome to Express News. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Let's begin with the stories. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today replied to the motion of thanks to the President's address in the upper house of Parliament, that is the Rajya Sabha, highlighting India's expanding global engagement. Prime Minister said the country is signing future-ready agreements with several nations. Prime Minister Modi underlined that India is a trusted partner of several nations, and today India has emerged as a strong voice of the Global South on global platforms. After Prime Minister Modi's reply, Rajya Sabha on Thursday adopted the motion of thanks to the President's address to the joint sitting of both the Houses of Parliament by voice vote. Lower House of Parliament of India, Lok Sabha, adopted the motion of thanks to the President's address to the joint sitting of both the Houses of Parliament by voice vote. President Murmu had addressed both the Houses on 28th of last month. On the invitation of Prime Minister of Malaysia, Anwar Ibrahim, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will pay an official visit to Malaysia from 7 to 8 February. This would be the third visit of Prime Minister to Malaysia. In a special media briefing, Ministry of External Affairs said Prime Minister Modi will hold bilateral discussions with Prime Minister of Malaysia. The leaders will review progress on the India-Malaysia Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. Responding to US President Donald Trump's claim that India has agreed to stop buying Russian oil and shift crude imports to United States and possibly Venezuela, Ministry of External Affairs said India's energy decisions are guided by market conditions and evolving global dynamics, and all choices are taken solely in the national interest. India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar concluded a productive and positive visit to the United States and thanked Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Minister said that historic India-US trade deal is in the final stages of detailing and will be completed very soon. Minister Jaishankar attended the Critical Minerals Ministerial Meet in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday. Speaking at the meet, Minister highlighted India's efforts towards greater resilience through initiatives including National Critical Minerals Mission, Rare Earth Corridors and Responsible Commerce. On the sidelines of the meeting, the External Affairs Minister met Canadian counterpart Anita Anand. The two leaders talked about taking the ties forward. Minister Jaishankar also met Peru Foreign Minister Hugo de Zela. Both agreed to deepen cooperation between the nations. India and the Gulf Cooperation Council on Thursday signed the terms of reference for a free trade agreement. India's Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal said India's agreement for a free trade agreement with the 6 GCC countries will open another major trade corridor. Minister Goyal said that a joint statement on India-US trade agreement will be issued in the next 4 to 5 days and a formal agreement will be signed around mid-March. Union Cooperation Minister Amit Shah in New Delhi on Thursday launched Bharat Taxi, India's first cooperative-led ride-hailing platform after a successful 2-month pilot operation. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh flagged off a joint expedition to Mount Aconcagua in Argentina from New Delhi on Thursday. The mountain at over 6,900 meters stands as the highest peak of South America and the highest mountain outside of Asia. Commemorating 50 years of long-standing and multifaceted India-Seychelles bilateral ties, President of Seychelles, Dr. Patrick Hamaini, arrived in South Indian state of Tamil Nadu's capital, Chennai. Sri Lankan President Anura Kumara Dissanayake inaugurated the public exposition in Colombo of the sacred Devinamori relics of Lord Buddha brought from Gujarat. Prime Minister of Sri Lanka, Dr. Harini Amarasuriya, thanked the Government of India and Prime Minister Modi for facilitating the exposition, calling it blessings for the people of Sri Lanka. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed gratitude to Sri Lankan President Anura Kumara Dissanayake for inaugurating the exposition of the holy Devinamori relics. In a post, Prime Minister highlighted India and Sri Lanka's deep civilizational and spiritual ties. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres praised India's leadership as the country is set to host India AI Impact Summit 2026 in New Delhi on 19th and 20th February. Antonio Guterres will attend the first global AI summit to be held in Global South. Indian equity benchmark indices declined on Thursday, with Nifty 50 down by 133.20 points at 25,642.80. Sensex was down by 503.76 points to close at 83,313.93 on Thursday. Indian rupee ended at 90.26 per dollar on Thursday. Gold futures maturing on 2nd April was priced at 1,52,152 rupees per 10 grams on multi-commodity exchange. And silver futures for 5th March maturity stood at 2,50,118 rupees per kilogram on the MCX. Brent crude futures fell by 1.55% to $68.43 a barrel on Thursday. Google parent Alphabet claimed that it was targeting capital expenditure of $175 billion to $185 billion this year. Shares of the company fell more than 6% in extended trading. Along with Meta, 3 cloud companies are expected to collectively shell out more than $500 billion on AI this year. Meta last week hiked its capital investment for AI development this year by 73%, targeting spending between $115 billion to $135 billion. The Washington Post, owned by billionaire Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, announced major job cuts, calling the move a painful but necessary restructuring to secure its future amid financial pressures. Taiwan's semiconductor manufacturing company plans to mass-produce advanced 3-nanometer chips in Kumamoto in southern Japan, an investment worth $17 billion as the Taiwanese firm seeks to meet soaring demand for AI chips. Ukraine and Russia concluded a second day of US brokered talks in Abu Dhabi on Thursday. Delegations from United States, Ukraine and Russia have agreed to exchange 314 prisoners, US President Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff informed on Thursday. Russian Foreign Ministry has said on Thursday that it had expelled a German diplomat in response to what it said was Berlin's unfounded expulsion of Russian diplomat accused of espionage in January. The last Russia-US nuclear arms control treaty, known as the New START, is due to expire on February 5th. Kremlin said on Thursday that Russia would continue taking a responsible approach to strategic nuclear stability. Chinese Foreign Ministry said on Thursday that expiration of US-Russia arms treaty was regrettable and rejected calls to enter talks on a new nuclear treaty. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has warned that expiration of the last remaining nuclear arms control agreement between US and Russia represents a grave moment for international peace and security. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk on Thursday began his visit to Ukraine and paid tributes to fallen Ukrainian soldiers alongside President Volodymyr Zelensky in Kiev. US and Iran have agreed to hold talks in Oman on Friday, even as they remained at odds over Washington's insistence that negotiations include Tehran's missile arsenal and Iran's vow to discuss only its nuclear program. Iran has pushed to restrict the negotiations to discussing its long-running nuclear dispute with Western countries, but US Secretary of State Marco Rubio said that talks would have to include the range of Iran's ballistic missiles. 8 trucks and ambulances moved towards the gate of Egypt's Rafah border crossing with Gaza on Thursday following its reopening earlier this week on Monday. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer apologised for having believed what he called Maralson's lies before appointing him in December 2024 as Britain's envoy to Washington. Bill Gates' name has also surfaced in the newly released Epstein files. He has expressed regret over any time spent with Jeffrey Epstein. King Charles III's younger brother, Prince Andrew, is under intense pressure to explain his close ties with Epstein after US Justice Department released a new batch of documents He has moved to a remote country estate after leaving his longtime home. French President Emmanuel Macron welcomed EU President Ursula von der Leyen and European Council President Antonio Costa in Paris on Thursday for talks focusing on upcoming European Union leaders' retreat and conflict in Ukraine, besides European security issues. Venezuela's interim president Delcy Rodriguez met on Wednesday with oil executives from Spain's Repsol and France's Morel and Prom, a month after United States deposed leftist leader Nicolas Maduro. Hundreds of indigenous people have been protesting in northern Brazil for the past couple of weeks against dredging and port development on Amazonian rivers, raising concerns over the impact of grain export infrastructure on their way of life. Nearly 200 people have been killed by armed men in separate attacks in remote villages in central and northern Nigeria as security forces search for survivors and chase the attackers. US President Donald Trump said he would deploy federal agents to assist in the search of the elderly mother of popular US morning news anchor Savannah Guthrie, who vanished from her Arizona home several days ago. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez said on Thursday that tech companies will not sway the will of the Spanish government as it intends to ban young people from social media platforms. Sanchez plans to ban social media access for under-16s and to prosecute executives for hate speech on their platforms. According to the 2026 annual report of New York-based Human Rights Watch released on Wednesday, thousands of people have been arrested on political grounds under Bangladesh's interim government, with many held without trial and routinely denied bail. We're heading for a short break. There's more coming up.
Welcome to Delhi.
मैसेज डियर इन्वेस्टर, एक एक्सपर्ट स्टॉक टिप खास आपके लिए। ये ऐप डाउनलोड करो और पैसे डबल करो।
एक्सपर्ट जी, बदमाश का बाप हूँ मैं। ऐप डाउनलोड करने से पहले मैं आपका पूरा रिपोर्ट कार्ड निकालूं। मैं मूर्ख नहीं हूँ।
डिस्टेंस यूपीआई कहता है, अगर कोई ऐसी सलाह दे तो पहले एडवाइजर की पूरी जांच कर ले और कहे मैं मूर्ख नहीं। जाइए, आप भी किसी का टेस्ट लीजिए।
हो गया इंतजाम।
किसका?
गुड्डी की फीस का।
दिखा। 20,000 का लोन तुरंत। पता है कौन दे रहा है, ब्याज कितना है? लोन विनियमित संस्थानों से ही लें और कर्ज उतना जितनी जरूरत, वो भी जांच कर। हो गया इंतजाम। पगार एडवांस में भेजिए।
आरबीआई कहता है,
सही वित्तीय बर्ताव करे आपका बचाव।
मैसेज डियर इन्वेस्टर, एक एक्सपर्ट स्टॉक टिप खास आपके लिए। ये ऐप डाउनलोड करो और पैसे डबल करो।
एक्सपर्ट जी, बदमाश का बाप हूँ मैं। ऐप डाउनलोड करने से पहले मैं आपका पूरा रिपोर्ट कार्ड निकालूं। मैं मूर्ख नहीं हूँ।
डिस्टेंस यूपीआई कहता है, अगर कोई ऐसी सलाह दे तो पहले एडवाइजर की पूरी जांच कर ले और कहे मैं मूर्ख नहीं। जाइए, आप भी किसी का टेस्ट लीजिए।
One of India's
Welcome back. You're watching Express News on DD India. Let's continue. An unusual cold snap hit Cuba as polar air pushed temperatures to 0 degrees Celsius, a national record, forcing residents and pets to bundle up across streets. Storm Leonardo caused severe flooding across Spain and Portugal, leaving several dead and a woman missing after she was swept away while trying to rescue a dog. Portugal's Alçar da Sol was flooded after successive storms caused the Sado River to overflow, leaving streets underwater and residents wading through floodwaters. A strong cold front hit Colombia's Caribbean coast, stranding a boat and scattering debris across beaches. Rough seas and strong winds disrupted coastal activity, prompting authorities to monitor conditions and urge caution for fishermen and residents. Indian naval ship Gharial reached Colombo with 10 belay of bridges to support Sri Lanka's post-cyclone recovery by restoring damaged road connectivity and aiding relief efforts. The Bailey Bridge delivery is part of India's humanitarian assistance to Sri Lanka under Operation Sagar Bandhu, a $450 million aid package, reaffirming India's role as a key regional partner. A cold wave has tightened its hold over Kashmir, with temperatures dipping sharply in Srinagar, while tourists trapped in warm clothes enjoy chilly conditions and scenic views at Dal Lake. Strong winds triggered a sudden cold wave across Uttar Pradesh's Prayagraj, affecting daily life. Pilgrims and residents were affected as temperatures dropped sharply. Uttar Pradesh's Aligarh witnessed dense fog and sharp rise in cold conditions following change in weather. Reduced visibility and chilly winds affected normal life. 3 vehicles were stranded at Jozila Pass in Kargil, Ladakh after an avalanche struck an area. Rescue operations continue to ensure the safety of those trapped amid harsh weather conditions. A rare drawing by the Italian Renaissance master Michelangelo set to go under the hammer at Christie's on Thursday, with an estimated value of work between $1.5 to $2 million. At the New York Botanical Garden in Bronx, thousands of orchids in vibrant colors are on display in new exhibition inspired by the city life. The exhibition runs from February 7th through April 26th. The curved saber that belonged to Argentine national hero General Jose de San Martin is on display at the National Historical Museum in Buenos Aires. Auction house Sotheby's sold Rembrandt's painting Young Lion for nearly $18 million, making it one of the most valuable old masterworks ever sold at the auction. Scientists on a deep-sea expedition along Argentina's coastline have documented a rare giant phantom jellyfish. The world's first permanent Pokemon theme park, PokePark Kanto, has opened in Tokyo, attracting huge interest amid record tourism and strong global popularity of the franchise. Horse-themed decorations are flying off the shelves at the Yiwu International Trade Market in eastern China's Zhejiang province as Lunar New Year approaches. Penny, a 4-year-old Doberman Pinscher, a German breed dog, was crowned Best in Show at the 2026 Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show, beating over 2,500 entries. The world's first artificial intelligence tool has been developed to track icebergs from the moment they break away, helping scientists better understand their hidden impact on climate change. Kosi Barrage near Corbett National Park, Ramnagar, Uttarakhand, India, doubles as a major wetland and bird haven, attracting thousands of migratory and native species, delighting walkers and bird watchers with vibrant flocks year-round. India's Railways Ministry, in collaboration with Ministry of Environment, has launched an artificial intelligence-enabled intrusion detection system to prevent elephants from being hit by trains. In southern India's Kerala state, farmers organized a seed fair to revive traditional crops that are fast disappearing. The event showcased rare local vegetables, spices, and yams. The ongoing Magh Mela in Uttar Pradesh's Prayagraj is drawing to a close, with pilgrims beginning to depart. The Magh Mela is scheduled to conclude on February 15th. In India, Sangeet Dwar has been soft-launched as a unified digital one-window platform designed to streamline permissions for on-the-ground public music performances across the country. Assam's Manas National Park hosted a 4-day training on captive Asian elephant welfare, uniting international experts, Kaziranga teams and Wildlife Trust of India with Australia's Help Foundation from February 1st to 4th. Bollywood superhit movie Border 2 continues its strong weekday performance, collecting 400 crore rupees worldwide. Popular Indian action crime thriller series, earlier released on OTT, is now a film. Mirzapur, the movie, is set to hit theatres on 4th of September. Vad 2, sequel to the popular OTT crime thriller series Vad, is set to release in cinemas on 6th February. The film stars Sanjay Mishra and Neena Gupta. Hindi language drama film Tanvi the Great, directed by Anupam Kher and starring Shubhangi Dutt, has secured the 7th position on IMDb's list of best Bollywood films of 2025. Indian actor Taapsee Pannu's upcoming investigative courtroom drama Assi, directed by Anubhav Sinha, has released its trailer. The film is scheduled for a theatrical release on 20th February. The trailer of Indian actor Siddhant Chaturvedi and Mrunal Thakur's starrer romantic drama Do Dewane Sheher Mein has been released. The film is set for release in theatres on 20th February. An Indian filmmaker and actor Anurag Kashyap's film Kennedy, starring Rahul Bhatt and Sunny Leone, will premiere digitally on an OTT platform on 20th February. Actors Varun Dhawan and Mrunal Thakur began shooting for their upcoming Hindi language romantic fun family entertainer film Hai Jawani To Ishq Hona Hai in Mumbai on Thursday. Grammy-winning singer John Mayer will make his India debut with a live concert in Mumbai on 11th of this month. Singer Lamonte McLemore, a founding member of the popular vocal group The Fifth Dimension of late 1960s and early 70s, has died at the age of 90. In sports, Olympic gold medalist shooter Abhinav Bindra said he's truly humbled and honoured after carrying the Olympic torch in Italy ahead of the Winter Olympics. The 2026 Winter Olympics begins on Friday in Milan and Cortina Lampazzo cities in Italy. The Olympic Council of Asia announced that 2029 Asia Winter Games will take place in the Kazakh city of Almaty. Shooters Suruchi Singh and Samrat Rana clinched the silver medal for India in the 10-meter air pistol mixed team event at the Asian Shooting Championship in New Delhi. The International Olympic Committee elected its first female member from Iran named Soraya Agay, who competed in the badminton tournament at Tokyo Olympics. India opened its account in style at the Zagreb ranking series, finishing day one with 1 gold, 1 silver and a bronze in men's freestyle wrestling in Croatia. Olympic boxing champion Iman Khalif admitted that she had undergone hormone treatments ahead of the 2024 Games, but reaffirmed that she is not transgender. Captain Mitchell Marsh said Australia remains confident of a strong showing at the upcoming 2020 World Cup, despite the absence of several frontline fast bowlers. In pursuit of record-extending 6th title, the Indian under-19 cricket team takes on England in the World Cup final in Harare on Friday. Royal Challengers Bengaluru will take on Delhi Capitals in the Women's Premier League finals today. Hockey India announced a 24-member team for the Rourkela leg of FIH Men's Pro League 25-26, scheduled to take place from 10th to 15th February. All India Tennis Association said the country has been given the hosting rights of the World Cup of Women's Tennis 2026 Billie Jean King Cup in April. Alexander Zverev withdrew his name from the upcoming Rotterdam Open due to ankle problems. Manchester City completed a 5-1 aggregated win over Newcastle United to storm into the Carabao Cup finals. And Inter Milan qualified for the Italian Cup semi-finals with a 2-1 win over batting Torino. With that, we conclude this edition of Express News. Namaskar.